Order. I call the honourable member for Deakin.
Well, thanks very much, Mr Deputy Speaker. What we're seeing today is a Labor Party who is so bereft of ideas, they've gone for, in an emergency, break the glass and find the best scare campaign you can run. Well, guys, it's not going to work. It is not going to work. We are the party of lower taxes, and your record is so shambolic that nobody will believe a word that comes out of your mouths on tax policy. This is the party who raised the carbon tax when they promised that they would never introduce a carbon tax, leaving every single home $550 worse off. This is the party that introduced the mining tax. They picked one recommendation out of the Henry Tax Review that had about 150 recommendations, and the mining tax that they introduced had $16 billion of spending associated, where it ultimately raised some very minuscule percentage of that spending. So your credibility on tax is absolutely shot. Absolutely shot. We have ingrained in our DNA on this side of the House lower taxes, and our history is extraordinarily proud, and nothing will change. And when we have undertaken ambitious tax reform, it has been for the benefit of this country. I remember as a young man watching Kim Beazley, the heir of Whitlam, standing out the front with cans of baked beans arguing against the GST introduction. Rollback. I think rollback was the policy for 2 elections, and then when the Labor Party finally got back into government in 2007, we never heard a word of them about the GST, because every single Labor state premier and politician is on the drip of the GST now. So if the GST is so bad, take a policy to the next election that you will repeal the GST. No, they've all got their heads down now. If the GST is so bad, then absolutely go down that path and see how the Australian people mark you. But I can tell you that this party has ingrained in our very fibre lower taxes. And when we talk about fairness, it also has to be fairness for the middle class of this country who carry the entire tax burden. It's the middle class who carry this country, pay for our education, pay for our health services. So when we talk about fairness, this side of the House, in any proposal that we take to the next election, however it may look, it will be to benefit those people and to encourage them to work, to encourage them to save and encourage them to invest, because they are the people, ultimately, who this country is built on. Now, the Labor Party has $60 billion of spending commitments that they've made. I mean, very notably, the shadow foreign ministers promised to reinstate $16 billion of foreign aid, yet they've got $5 billion of savings. So where is that $55 billion going to come from? Some people think that they will be raising taxes. That's a possibility. I mean, they might just bung it on the credit card. I mean, that's Labor. Just put it on the credit card. Just whack a bit more on the credit card. That's okay. We're already paying $100 million a day, borrowing $100 million a day and paying $1 billion a month in interest. Just bung a bit more on the credit card. Because, I mean, ingrained in the Labor's DNA is they think that's okay, the Liberal Party will be in government and they'll fix it for us. The Liberals will come back into government, they'll fix it, and then we'll just bung it on the credit card again. So where are you going to find that $55 billion? And we're still 12 months away. I mean, we haven't even got into a campaign yet. That $55 billion will probably turn into $100 billion by the election. Where's that $100 billion going to come from? So on this side of the House, we've got a party who has a track record. We matched our words in opposition when we argued against the carbon tax, and we repealed it. And we saved households $550 on average a year. The Labor Party, at every opportunity, argue against the GST, yet they've never ever uttered a word about the GST in government. We will take a policy to the next election that encourages Australians to work harder. It will not continue to punish people. In 10 years' time, 43% of Australians will be in the top 2 tax brackets. I mean, this is outrageous, and we will deal with that. That is certain. We will make sure that those people who are working very hard, who are the PAYE earners whom this system relies on, will be rewarded, and it won't be just empty rhetoric from the Labor Party, who's panicking. I know you're panicking,
Order.
but we will have a plan, and
I
the
thank
Australian people will
the
back.
honourable member for Deakin, and I